The harem, seraglio, haram, is a taboo place in the palace of an Eastern ruler. Of those who did not serve here, only the master of wives, children and concubines themselves could enter. No one else was allowed. All harem problems were solved exclusively within the micro-world, and there were quite a lot of problems. One of these issues is a side effect of the main activity here. Not all of the pregnancies were desirable here, and we are talking about the past, before the invention of we all know what. So how did the harems of different states prevent, or also we can say remove, unwanted pregnancies? Welcome to Flip Side of History, the other lesser-known side of our human history. Today we will tell you about harems and under which conditions they existed. So let us continue this episode. Childbearing was relentlessly controlled. First off, it has nothing to do with the maids who suddenly became pregnant by one of the members of the ruling family. And it's clear. It was just that birth was strictly controlled, even from wives and slave concubines. That is, from those who were intended for the sultan, khan, shah, kagan, emir, for firstly pleasure and procreation. It was impossible to increase the population of the seraglio thoughtlessly. There would not have been enough space and, of course, funds. There were certain rules and people who enforced them. The chief eunuch, for one instance. By the way, the eunuchs themselves were part of the program to control the population of the harem. If it was not just extra children but offspring from official wives, then one of the laws of the Ottoman Empire allowed these wives to be killed later. If there was turmoil that prevented the heir, in most cases the eldest, from reigning, who sat on the throne in full health and at a normal age. So even many of those who were younger, despite being wives of rulers, dreamed of never getting pregnant, knowing what their child could expect in the future. What can we say about oppressed women with whose sons and daughters they could do whatever they wanted, and not in turmoil? Such purges among harem pupils of different origins were officially called the Fatih law. Truly said though, but there was a request for contraception, at least since the time of the Turk Suleiman the Magnificent. As for his seraglio, there are definitely recorded memoirs of the ambassadors. Supposedly the conversations leaked from there to the main male half of the palace complex. But there were no modern methods of protection from the birth of child at that time. What did the women do in such cases? To whom did the imperial wanderoffs turn? Ebikadin was the name of female midwives in Ottoman Empire. In other parts of the East, they had different names. These specialists in the field could give life to the child, or they could, on the contrary, destroy the fetus. The work was in demand and well paid. The Ebikadin could feed their whole family without other members working. Tampons soaked in deadly extract. During the Middle Ages, rumors about the strong effects of cabbage and pomegranate juice on humans circulated throughout Eurasia. Only the slothful ones haven't heard of them. This juice, they said, killed everything it possibly could. As a matter of fact, rags soaked in these juicy liquids only helped those who would not have given birth without them. What exactly did pomegranate and cabbage do in a woman's body if she consumed them at the same time? Gas formation of dangerous intensity and dangerous, or dare we say, even lethal kidney diseases. As for pomegranate juice, all its medical effect is that it can have a soothing influence on severe menstruation. This juice didn't touch on the matter of pregnancy. In medieval centuries, cabbage was generally given too much eminence. People back then said that during magic spells it intensified its effect. Yeah, exactly, women also resorted to witchcraft. No wonder cabbage is the food of a goat, and its muzzle symbolizes whom? Yes, you're correct. Instant spritzing. Presumably at that time, the most effective remedies if it is applied immediately after the end of you-know-what kind of love procedure. It was the specific thing that was needed. So how did those harems, the location of which was not connected in any way with the active fountains, cope? Enema was used. Back then they did not know how to get rubber, but they made wineskins of different sizes from the skin of animals and their entrails. The principle of the medieval enema is sort of the construction of a bagpipe, a container and a tube that could be made from a thin shoot of reeds and afterwards polished. Was there enough water alone? No, it was not. For some, it didn't help, especially when there was no access to a sufficient amount of it. That's why they got for them other things. It is also good if it was an infusion of some kind of horsetail, swamp mint, crocus, and the like. But a large number of people decided on much more unpleasant compositions. In the following chapter, we'll tell you all about these dire supplements. Adding lemon juice and vinegar to the liquid. In the High Middle Ages, all sort of medicine was best developed in the Muslim countries of Western Asia and the Indo-Persian region. A lot of ibikadin were from there. That is, they were well aware of the proven properties of lemon juice and also vinegar made from any fruit. These two substances killed any micro-life. But such drugs also have a serious side effect, a corrosive effect. If you ever use the syringe with this product, there is a risk of abnormalities in the organs of the pregnant woman. Such women were always sick and in pain. To get rid of the pain itself, the ferrous sacs was injected with solutions, infusions that soothe the inflamed areas, camellia, chamomile, sage, rosemary, turmeric, and much more ingredients. Oil treatment. Many oils used in the medieval East have been known since the times of ancient Egypt. They were obtained by grasping different seeds. If we abstract from northern part of Africa and move to the north, we must also say that carrot seeds were at times used. In the instance of sesame, it's much more simple. Its seeds were soaked overnight and consumed the next morning. But it was still in Western Asia and Asia Minor, where overwhelming majority of the harems were located, that effective plant material was in use, obtained from the nut seeds of the cedar, as well as the fruits of acacia and olive. But still, even here there was no 100% guarantee of safe usage. Occasionally the method did not help at all. It is worth letting you know that in China people were not afraid to mix such oils with mercury, also a universal remedy that all of us know. Implementing of preventive decoctions and infusions. In this huge selection, associated with the use of the sap of dozens of different herbs and trees, a decoction of tree bark is in the first place. In second place are hundreds of species of wormwood, which grows at every step in arid climatic zones. After them goes the already mentioned swamp wormwood and crocus. Substances inside the above-mentioned flora simply put to sleep male cells. All types of wormwood and crocus were created among our nature in order to strengthen female cells. Honey engages this preventive method. This method has also been known since the ancient Egyptian and maybe even older era. You don't have to let the love flow go right away, and there will be no problems with sprinkling. Wanting to prevent pregnancy, the partner used a rag, you know how, glued into a compact object with honey. Such devices were made of cotton. This was already practiced in the harems of Central Asia. But oftentimes instead of honey, which not everyone could afford, crocodile and elephant droppings, manure, some kind of resin of plant origin appeared. It's when it came to ancient Egypt. But in the situation of medieval harems of Ottoman Empire or others, of course, this was already honey. It remains to add that most often many of the listed types of protection were also combined. No one could guarantee reliability of such things. Most of them still deceived the hopes of the beauties. Therefore, many women somehow escaped from captivity in order to visit a midwife. The girls, out of lack of any hope, were prepared for an incredibly painful and dangerous abortion. And as soon as Ottoman Empire began to suffer serious defeats, the authorities banned both abortion and contraceptives. There are no more people left. Wrongdoers and alternate heirs to the throne were now sent to the army as officers of various ranks. So giving birth in a healthy way was their last option. Thank you for watching this episode. We hope you liked it. Subscribe and leave a like, and we see you in upcoming episodes.